You ever notice how some people can be the nicest person in the world to everyone else, but the second you're alone with them, they turn into a completely different human being? Like they're wearing a mask in public and they only take it off when no one else is watching. And if you grew up with someone like this, especially if it was a parent or family member or someone who was supposed to take care of you, it messes with your head in ways you're probably still dealing with today. Because here's the thing: when the rest of the world thinks someone is wonderful, and you're the only one who sees how they really are, you start to wonder if you're crazy. You start to think maybe it's you. Maybe you're too sensitive. Maybe you're imagining it, but you're not. And there are 7 signs that tell you someone was absolutely playing a role in public while being someone completely different behind closed doors. And more importantly, I'm going to tell you exactly what each of those signs did to you so you can finally make sense of why you feel the way you do. Let's get into it. Sign number 1: everyone else loved them, but you felt like you were walking on eggshells. This is the big one. To the outside world, they were charming, helpful, generous, always willing to lend a hand, always smiling, always saying the right thing. People would tell you all the time how lucky you were to have them in your life. Meanwhile, at home, you were constantly anxious, trying to read their mood, trying to figure out what version of them you were going to get that day. Were they going to be nice? Were they going to snap at you for something tiny? You never knew. So you learned to be hypervigilant. You learned to scan their face, their tone, their body language for clues about whether it was safe to relax or whether you needed to brace yourself. And here's what that did to you: it taught you that love is conditional and unpredictable. It taught you that you have to earn safety. Even now, as an adult, you probably catch yourself monitoring people's moods, trying to manage their emotions, trying to keep the peace because that's what you had to do to survive. You became responsible for other people's feelings when you were way too young to carry that weight. Sign number 2: they performed caring in public but ignored you in private. Oh, this one messed me up for years. In front of other people, they'd put their arm around you, ask how you're doing, make a big show of being interested in your life. But the second you were alone, silence, disinterest. They wouldn't ask about your day. They wouldn't care about your problems. They wouldn't engage with you unless they needed something from you. I remember one time my family was at a gathering, and this person spent 20 minutes talking to someone else about how proud they were of me and how much they supported me. Then we got in the car to go home, and they didn't say a single word to me for the entire ride. Not one word. It was like I stopped existing the moment the audience disappeared. And what did that do to you? It made you feel invisible. It made you feel like your value only exists when someone else is watching. You learned that affection is a performance, not something you actually deserve. So now you struggle to believe people when they say they care about you because you're waiting for them to drop the act when no one else is around. Sign number 3: they never apologized to you, but they'd apologize to everyone else. This one is so sneaky because it makes you feel like you're the problem. They'd mess up with other people and immediately say, "I'm so sorry, that was my fault. Let me make it right." They'd bend over backwards to fix things with strangers, with friends, with coworkers. But with you, never. If they hurt you, it was always your fault for being too sensitive or misunderstanding or overreacting. They'd never admit they did anything wrong. And if you tried to bring it up, they'd either deny it happened to gaslight you into thinking you remembered it wrong or turn it around so somehow you were the one apologizing to them. What? Yeah, it took me way too long to realize that was insane. Here's what that did to you: it taught you that your feelings don't matter. It taught you that you're always wrong and everyone else is always right. So now you apologize for everything, even when you didn't do anything. You second guess yourself constantly. You have trouble trusting your own perception of reality because you spent years being told your version of events wasn't true. That's gaslighting, and it leaves scars. Sign number 4: they bragged about you to others but criticized you at home. This is a special kind of confusing. They'd tell everyone how smart you are, how talented, how accomplished. They'd show you off like a trophy. But when it was just the two of you, nothing you did was good enough. They'd nitpick, criticize, point out everything you did wrong, and make you feel like a failure. I had someone in my life who would literally tell their friends I was doing amazing things and then turn around and tell me I wasn't trying hard enough, that I was lazy, that I needed to do better. It made my head spin because I couldn't figure out which version was true. Was I doing well or was I a disappointment? Turns out the answer is neither. I was just a prop in their story, something they could use to make themselves look good. And what that did to you is it made you an overachiever who never feels good enough. You accomplish things, and you still feel empty because the praise you are chasing isn't about you, it's about how you make someone else look. You learned that your worth is tied to your performance, not to who you are. So you burn yourself out trying to be perfect, and you never feel satisfied because the validation you're seeking was never real to begin with. Sign number 5. They played the victim when you tried to set boundaries. Anytime you tried to stand up for yourself or say something they did hurt you, they'd flip the script and make it about them. Suddenly, they were the one being attacked. They were the one suffering. How could you be so cruel to them after everything they've done for you? They'd cry or guilt trip or act wounded, and before you knew it, you were comforting them and apologizing for bringing it up. I tried to set a boundary once with someone like this. I said, "Hey, when you do this thing, it really hurts me, and I'd appreciate if you could stop." And their response was, "I can't believe you think I'm such a terrible person. I guess I'm just the worst. I should just disappear and leave you alone." And I ended up spending the next hour reassuring them that they weren't terrible while my actual hurt feelings got completely ignored. Classic move. What this did to you is it taught you that your needs are a burden. It taught you that asking for what you need makes you selfish. So now you don't set boundaries because you're terrified of the guilt and the drama that comes with it. You let people walk all over you because standing up for yourself feels like you're doing something wrong. You've been trained to prioritize everyone else's comfort over your own safety. Sign number 6. They told you things in private they'd never say in public. Behind closed doors, they'd say cruel things, belittling things, things that made you feel small. But they'd never say those things in front of anyone else because they knew it would make them look bad. They'd insult you, mock you, tear you down, and then in public, they'd be sweet and supportive. And if you ever tried to tell someone what they said to you, it sounded unbelievable because that's not how they act around other people. So no one believed you. Or worse, they'd tell you that you must have misunderstood or taken it the wrong way. I can't tell you how many times I tried to explain to someone how hurtful this person was, and they'd look at me like I was speaking another language because they only saw the public version. It made me feel like I was living in an alternate reality. And what this did to you is it made you doubt yourself constantly. It made you think you can't trust your own experiences. You have this voice in your head that says, maybe it wasn't that bad, maybe I'm exaggerating, maybe I'm the problem. You minimize your own pain because you've been conditioned to believe no one else will validate it. And that's why you stay in situations longer than you should, because you keep questioning whether it's really as bad as it feels. Sign number 7. They had one personality for the world and a different one for you. This is the umbrella that covers everything. They were two completely different people depending on who was watching. In public, they were patient, kind, understanding, fun. At home, they were irritable, cold, distant, critical. It wasn't subtle. It was like a switch flipped the second the door closed, and you were the only one who saw both versions, which made you feel like you were going insane. Because how do you explain to someone that the person they know isn't the person you know? How do you tell people that the charming, generous person they love is the same person who makes you feel worthless at home? You can't. So you stop trying. You just live with this weird split reality where everyone else sees one thing and you see another. And what that did to you is it made you hyper aware of inconsistency in people. You're always looking for the mask. You're always waiting for people to show you who they really are when no one's watching. You have trouble trusting anyone fully because you learned that people can fake kindness. You learned that someone can smile at you and hurt you at the same time. And that's exhausting. It makes you feel like you're constantly on guard, like you can never fully relax around anyone because you're waiting for them to reveal their true self. Here's what I need you to understand. If you're reading these signs and thinking, oh my God, that's exactly what happened, you're not crazy, you didn't imagine it, you didn't make it up, You were living with someone who wore a mask, and you were one of the few people who saw what was underneath. And that's not your fault. The reason this kind of two faced behavior is so damaging is because it makes you doubt reality itself. When the world tells you someone is wonderful, and your lived experience tells you they're harmful, you start to believe something is wrong with you. You start to think you're too sensitive, too demanding, too broken. But you're not. You just had the misfortune of being close enough to someone to see who they really were. And the scars from that don't just go away. You carry them into your adult relationships. You struggle with trust. You struggle with boundaries. You struggle with believing you deserve better because you spent so long being told that your version of reality wasn't valid. But here's the good news. Once you name it, once you see it for what it was, you can start to heal it. You can stop blaming yourself. You can start trusting your perception again. You can start setting boundaries without guilt. You can start building relationships with people who don't have a public mask and a private face. People who are the same person all the time. People who don't make you feel crazy for having needs. And those people exist. I promise you they do. It just takes time to unlearn the idea that love is supposed to be conditional and unpredictable and confusing. Real love is consistent. Real love doesn't have a mask. Real love doesn't make you question your sanity. Here at Cyclipsis, we don't just talk about psychology, we make it make sense. If this helped you understand something you've been carrying for years, hit that subscribe button. Because next week, we're breaking down why some people can apologize to everyone except the people they hurt the most and what that says about them. Trust me, you're going to want to see that one. Your future self, the Bishtor, one who's finally free from questioning your own reality, is already thanking you for watching this. You're not crazy. You never were. You just saw the truth and nobody believed you. But I believe you. And now you can start believing yourself too. You've got this.